Hi, everybody. My name is Nathan Grimes. So today we are going to talk about goal setting. I want to make this pretty quick. I want to make it brief. For the most part, the way I approach goals is through SMART goals. So SMART goals are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. And you can also add on an ER, which is evaluated and reviewed. A lot of people don't add on the SMART part because they don't really recognize it. So for it to be specific, you want to hit the 5 W's. So you really want to have the who, what, when, where, why, and that's where you get into the specific of it. So you're going to break it down. Like, what is your goal? Who do you need to be a part? Like, who's going to be a part of your goal? Just go through all those different aspects of the 5 W's. For measurable, that's when you get into the how. So you're going, how much is it going to cost for me to achieve my goal? How much do I need to make? How much do I? Anything that's going to have to do with a how. On the attainable or achievable side, you want to make it realistic. So when somebody comes to you and says, "Is your goal achievable?" That's a question you need to ask yourself on a daily basis. Is what I'm doing realistic? So you're not just going to wake up one morning making $20,000 a year and go, "Oh, today I'm going to make $1,000,000," right? No, that's not a realistic goal. That can be a long-term goal, and if you have the right plan set up, you can achieve that goal. That should be everybody's goal here, honestly. For relevant, you want to go ahead and make sure that it's worthwhile. Is what you're trying to achieve worthwhile? If it's a short-term goal, is it worth the time that you're going to put in? Because time you don't get back. You really don't get that back. So you need to make sure whatever you're doing, whatever effort you're putting in, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, whatever it is, you need to make sure it's worth your time. So I really stress to people that make sure it's something that you really want. Otherwise, you're not going to stick with it, and you're not going to be happy at the end because you're going to be like, wow, that wasn't worth anything to me. On the timely side of things, that's just the when. That could be a daily goal, a weekly goal, monthly, 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. That's just the timetable you want to set. On the evaluation part, that's where you get into okay, after I completed my goal, I need to evaluate to see how productive it was and if it was worthwhile. So after you finish your goal, whether it's a daily goal, for me, what I do is at the end of the day, after I set my goals up, I reflect back and go, okay, I achieved this, I achieved this, I achieved this, I didn't achieve this. Why? So you got to break down your goals and really go into depth and actually have a heart-to-heart with yourself and try to figure out where you can get better, how you can make it easier. Is there a production flow that you can make to make things easier on you? And on the reviewed side, that's when same concept, evaluate and review. So I'm going to go ahead and roll into the timely portions. For those who have been on our leadership calls in the morning, we do have a daily leadership call, and if you want to get in on that, it is dropped in the chat daily. We all jump on and we run through our daily goals. That's where we hold each other accountable. So you need to have accountability with yourself, but it really, really helps if you have somebody else looking in on your goals and helping you stay accountable, whether it's with the leadership group, whether it's with family that you trust, friends that you trust. Taylor, I know you're in here. We set up goals a long time ago on a Google worksheet where we could see our goals long term. And we were going to make bets to say, okay, if you don't achieve this goal, you got to do something stupid. It may not be monetary, but it can be monetary. If that's what drives you and that's what's going to get you to achieve your goals, make it monetary. Put your money where your mouth is. There's a lot of different ways you can achieve these goals. So that's daily. You can have personal weekly goals. If you got a whiteboard, throw them up there. Me personally, I go through 4 different stages. I have my daily, I have my short term, which is monthly for me. I have my midterm, which is 6 months, and I have my long term, which is yearly or beyond. What really helps is if you work backwards. So reverse engineer your goals. Start big term, start long term, start a year from now, 5 years from now. Where do you want to be? Envision that. And then what you got to do is you got to break it down. Like, okay, where can I be 6 months from now that's going to help me get to that point in a year? And then break it down to that point where you have that 6-month goal. Okay, I need to be halfway if I know it's a year. What do I need to do to be halfway to that goal? And then you go to your short-term goal, which is monthly. And then you go, okay, I have 6 months. So I have 6 short-term goals that I need to achieve. And I need to be on track. This is the point I need to hit every 6 months. So you break it into a sixth. Focus on just 1 month at a time. I'm not saying pre-plan all 6 months. You can just do 1 month at a time. Start baby steps. If you try to go into a cold turkey and achieve your yearly goal in a week, you're going to quit. You're going to quit. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to be hard, but that's the whole point of making realistic goals. And then you fold it into your daily, where you have 30 days in a month to achieve your monthly goal. So every day you should be doing a little bit more to get to that point. And a lot of people don't realize that. They just have one goal in mind and they don't write it down. Write it down. If you have a whiteboard, write it on a whiteboard. If you don't have a whiteboard and you can't afford one, printer paper. Show you, it's not in the background here. I do have paper on walls where I just pin them up and I start writing goals. So you can do that, or you can just make a Google worksheet. You can add your people on your team to it and you can hold each other accountable. There's many different ways to go about it, but accountability is a big part. The next segment I want to talk on is focusing on specific areas. So make sure that there's not too many goals that you're trying to achieve at one time. And if there are a lot of goals, make sure that they interlap with each other so that they help you get to that ultimate goal. Like for me, I have a huge goal for myself to, at the end of the year, to be a certain type of person. And to reach those goals, I have 6 different aspects that I have to hit, 6 different areas of focus that I want to touch on. And those 6 areas are spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, financial, and social. And if you break it down into those simple 6 categories, you can better yourself in mostly a wide variety, and you can be very broad. That'll allow you to grow in so many different aspects, and you'll see the finished product at the end of the year if you hit even just 4 of the 6 goals that you've had. Another part I want to touch on is loving failure. I will be having a whole video on failure, but overall, you guys need to understand you're not going to win every single time. It's just like Forex, right? If you win 60% of the time, you're winning. If you win 60% of your goals, you're winning. You're going to get kicked. You're going to get knocked down, but the whole point is to get back up, set that goal again, figure out what you got to do to adjust it, evaluate it, review it, come back and attack it. You can't give up. If you give up, you've lost. If you just allow failure to happen, I'm not saying allow it to happen, but don't let it kick you while you're down, and don't let it repeatedly kick you. The second you fail, I want you to get back up on that horse and you go again. You keep riding it. You keep riding it. You don't quit. Outside of that, setting positive goals. So a lot of people will set kind of a negative aspect to the very beginning of your goal setting. A lot of people come in going, oh, I want to lose weight. That's a pretty broad just example right there, but like, I want to lose weight. So instead of coming at it from that aspect, come at it from a positive standpoint of, I want to get healthier, or I want to have a healthier lifestyle. I want to attain a healthier lifestyle. You can reword these goals to have a positive impact from the get-go. Losing weight sounds really negative. It sounds painful. It sounds just outright atrocious. Like, you don't want to do that just because you know it's going to be hard. But if you go, oh, I want to have a healthier lifestyle, I want to do all these certain things, it's going to just from the very get-go, you're going to have a more positive experience. And that's something that you want to wake up every day going, I have a positive outlook on certain things. And then just to sum it all up, I really, really stress accountability. You need to hold accountability. If you don't stick to your goals daily, that's right when you start losing. You go downhill because it takes one day of not sticking to your goals or not trying to remember your goals, of you getting lazy and falling off. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up the discussion aspect to it. So anybody who wants to go ahead and speak up, go ahead and unmute yourself and we'll start talking. T, I know you got something for me, dog. Where you at, T?
Yo. I'm not gonna lie, I was in the kitchen fixing my little brother something to eat.
Oh, man.
So I actually joined back. I actually came back to my room when you was on the part when you was saying, be accountable for your goals, and it can actually take one day of not sticking to your goal and you can fall off.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's a real thing.
I completely agree with that because there was times where um, I wasn't sticking to my goal for like 2 days and I fell completely the fuck off. I had
Absolutely.
to remember like, damn, this is the goal that I'm trying to complete. And once I remembered that it was a serious goal for me to try to complete, that's when I got back on track with everything. I started waking up early mornings, actually get back on point. But yeah,
Absolutely.
I totally agree with it. If it can take one day for you to actually fall out from your goals, and for you to get lazy if you don't stick with your goals. So be accountable with your goals, like he said, because this shit is actually true.
So you know what they call that? That's the campfire effect. So
Right.
the closer you are to the fire, the hotter you are, right? The warmer you are. And that's where leadership comes in, and that's where good mentorship comes in. That's when good teamwork comes in, because you guys want to keep your teams close to the campfire. That's where these leadership calls in the morning, I take those things very seriously to try to get on, because that's going to hold me accountable. That's going to hold our team accountable. And we have these things in place so that people stay close to the fire. We have webinars throughout the day, daily, for everybody. We want people to stay close to the fire. We want people to stay close to forest. We want people to continue to win, because the second they fall off, they're going to lose. So that's the campfire effect, and it's a real thing. And if you don't believe me, I can guarantee that you can just look back in sometime in your life where you had a goal that you really wanted to achieve at first, and the second you backed off from the fire, the second you stopped doing it, it it just got easier and easier to not achieve that goal. Taylor, I know you got something, dog.
Facts, facts.
I always got something for you.
Absolutely.
No, honestly, I'm in complete agreement with Nathan. Like he had said, we actually sat down. What was this? Maybe 5 months ago,
Yeah.
and we wrote out some goals for ourselves on the 6 pillars that I like to touch on, which are the same ones that he agrees with as well, which is physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, financial, and social. So with that, basically I try to touch on each one of those goals every day. I don't do it from a SMART perspective, SMART, and then also the ER if you want to go that way. But for me, um, I do have, short, middle, long-term goals, projections, everything like that that's helping me get to where I need to be. And if, sometimes we do lose sight of them, to be completely honest. Like, as long as you're taking one step, 5 steps forwards and 4 steps back, like you're still winning because you're still further at that point than when you had originally started. And that's what's most important. So as long as you're on that path and you never give up, you'll never fail, because failure is a state of mind. Failure is a mentality. It's not, failure is like fear. It's not a fact. It's what you make it. So if you are further ahead right now than where when you were 6 months ago, then you're winning. Like, you just have to look at it like that, and eventually you'll be winning to a point where everything that you want in your life is in your life, and from there you're just going to see a tremendous amount of growth. But it's the little wins, it's the incremental wins on a daily basis that get you to that point. So you just can't forget about why you started in the first place. Having your why behind what you do, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, everything like that throughout the day is crucial. But yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what Nathan said. We both have a really good mentality when it comes to leadership, and obviously we have a lot of similarities as well. So honestly, I just appreciate him, being on this video and hosting it for us, because somebody needs to do it, and obviously Nathan's stepping up. So everybody should definitely thank him.
All right. Does anybody else have any input that they want to add? Any value? Any questions, concerns? No? All right. So we're going to go ahead and end this call. Tomorrow's call is going to be at 5 p.m. I do have other things to take care of, but we will be covering failure. I do believe that's going to be the next topic, just because we did talk about it so much today, and I think that we can go ahead and get pretty deep into that. Other than that, you guys have a great day. Go ahead and do great things.